Good morning. The state of South African stadiums in the townships continues to dilapidate as some sporting venues are left in ruins. The rundown ODI Stadium in Mabopane is an example of one of them. The venue continues to be vandalized and stripped in broad daylight. ODI Stadium used to host PSL matches, and the 60,000-seater was a favorite for the pre-season Telkom Charity Cup. The athletics track is also been left in ruins. We're joined by Hloni Mtimkulu, who is in Mabopane. Good morning to you, Hloni. You know, when you think about the ODI Stadium, it's got such rich roots and tradition, one of the most famous stadiums in South Africa, and it's so sad to see what has happened to it. You are there right now. Describe what you're seeing and also why it's in that state.
Yeah, good morning, Nandi. So we have moved from Mamelodi to Mabopane now, and we are at the ODI Stadium. And so it is run down, and, you know, as we've been talking just about the state of facilities, but it is in use at the moment. It's used for athletics. The track, which we hope to go and see inside, is still being used for athletics. But the facility itself and around the stadium, I'm just going to move out of shot a little bit so that you can kind of see what is happening around you, or well, what is not happening around you. So the stadium structure is still standing, but we know that it's not in good condition, and there have been concerns about it, and there have been plans for renovation. And the area around the stadium itself, you know, there's overgrown trees, and just when we were trying to get here, actually, when we GPSed our way here, two of the entrances that the GPS led us to are no longer entrances. So you just kind of drive in, and then there's gravel there, and there isn't a way to get here. So this is where to drive around to kind of get here. So, you know, things are kind of not going as well as I guess our community would have liked for them to go. Yeah. But it is still being used. The athletics, Pretoria West still use the track for athletics, even though the rest of the facility is not in use at the moment. So it is obviously, again, just years of neglect, years of being abandoned and not being able to be used for to its full capacity and only for the athletics. And so we are here today where there are those plans to renovate it, as they said, with HMPJ Stadium, and to build a multi-purpose facility here. Those plans are still underway. There isn't demolition yet that has begun here, but those plans, we have found out that they are still underway.
Hloni, who is responsible for the upkeep of the ODI Stadium? For example, is it the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, or who is responsible? I almost want to say, who do we blame for the neglect?
Yeah, so as with the HMPJ Stadium, so that was under the Tshwane municipality, and then that was given to the Department of the Gauteng Department. And the ODI Stadium, the renovations are also going to be done by the Gauteng Department. They also gave an update about the plans that they have for that stadium. So we're hoping that, you know, that plans will continue. I just want to say that when we were coming here, we drove past the Caledonian Stadium, right, in Arcadia, in the city. Yeah. In the center of Pretoria, rather, and renovations there are starting. And by what I was told, that they kind of started in November, and then the actual work of demolition started around February, March. So I think they're in line with what is happening at HMPJ, and hopefully that means that the work at this stadium will also begin soon, because if those two stadiums are underway, possibly means that things are starting to happen. But hopefully the Gauteng Department may update, if not the Sports Portfolio Committee, maybe just a general update on the state of things here as well.
Tony, when you look back to the 2010 World Cup, before and after, there was all this talk about the legacy that the World Cup will leave behind, that the fact that infrastructure will be improved upon and taken care of. Have you gotten any explanation as to why that has not happened? You did mention that there are plans to improve the stadium and maybe use it once again. But what happened to that legacy that everybody was talking about?
Yeah, you know, and I want to link this back to on Monday when we were talking about the railways and how the Nasrec station was built, and it was part of the legacy aspect of the 2010 FIFA World Cup. And there was all this talk about that sort of thing happening, you know. But as things stand, some of that is happening, I guess, with some stadiums and with some facilities, but generally that hasn't really happened. And we see that even here, you know, the stadium is not in use. The HMPJ Stadium is not in use as well. The Caledonian Stadium also is not in use. So there is a legacy aspect of it in terms of what is actually happening with these facilities. Where is the money going? You know, these are stadiums that have been promised to be renovated and fixed for years and years and years, and nothing has happened, you know. So there's money that was spent, obviously, but where that money is or who's responsible, who's accounting for that sort of thing, we don't know. But we do know that the housing department did say that, you know, the funds that have been misused in the past. So it was an admission, I guess, that in the past or previous administrations or previous people that were in there did misuse funds, because it doesn't make sense that all these promises were made 10, 12 years ago that these stadiums are going to be fixed, and nothing has been done so far. And at some point with this stadium, the community just decided that they would fix up what they could, they would clean up where they could, and that's why the Pretoria West Athletics is run here. So they decided that they would do what they could do. So it's the community kind of taking it on, taking responsibility for their own facility and doing what they can. But there's only so much that you can do as a community, because the infrastructure, the structure itself, you know, the community can't take that down, can't fix that. That needs actual demolition work and proper structural engineering work and stuff to fix that. So that will happen, I guess, but in terms of who accounts for what's happened over the years, we have been told that there will be people who are accounting. Whether that does or doesn't happen, you know, who knows? But also, you know, what about the community? Whether the people do or don't account, what happens to the community here? You know, they've been left without a facility or having to kind of scrounge around for a facility and kind of see what they do. And at the end of the day, they are the ones who are most disadvantaged by the state of things as they are.
Sonia, many questions that we need answers to, but we're going to leave it there. That was eNCA's Hloni Mtimkulu joining us live from Mabopane's ODI Stadium. All right.